Awesome day today, and in this video I want to talk about two different trades that I took. I want to go over why I took them, my analysis, thought process, why I entered each setup, where my stop loss was, and also some very important tips that I'm confident everybody could implement and start seeing some improvement in your own trades. Before we get into it, I recommend following me on my Instagram at Ameritrade. I'll post a link in the description below to do so. In fact, on my story yesterday, we posted these levels. They worked out the day prior very, very well. And if you were following me on there, you would have been very aware of how important the setup and the supply zone that we took the trade off today was. But like I said, the link is in the description below. If you do want to follow me on there, just really good trading tips and tricks that you're just not going to find anywhere else. But now for some context with this setup, let's go over the pre-market plan on January 17th, which was yesterday, on Tuesday, because these levels play an important role in the setup for Wednesday on the 18th. So on Tuesday, we had demand at 3997, which is this green box down here. We also had supply at 4029. I actually took a losing trade, longing inside of the supply zone. It was a nice area that the market found sellers, and we came down and sold off. So obviously sellers very, very present inside of this 4029 supply zone, as that was the high of day on Tuesday. Now, overnight, guess what happened? We sold off and hit our downside target at 3997. We rallied up, had some news in the overnight session, and guess what the high was? 4029 supply. We get the 8:30 PPI data that comes out, and guess what happens? On a 5-minute chart, we get a strong rally up into this 4029 supply zone and immediately fell. Now, what's very important here is this rally at 8:30 off of PPI data on the S&P 500 broke the previous high that we did once reject supply before. Then the plan on Wednesday, the 18th, I said my plan and the levels remain unchanged yesterday. We hit the 4029 supply zones twice overnight, found sellers and rejected. We hit the demand zone 2 times, found buyers and bounced. We're inside of this range with supply above and demand below. Balanced range. So when we have a balanced range, essentially what you want to see, and I said this in the pre-market plan, is at the top of the balanced range, you want to be looking to sell the highs. This is very important. I always want to stress this, that different market conditions present different ways that we have to trade. But essentially zooming out, you can see this on any time frame, the market is basically balanced. We have a high being put in, and when we combine supply and demand, or just key levels in general, it gives us validation of a high probability turning point in the market, because when we are in balance, you want to sell the highs and to buy the lows. It's essentially called fading the extreme, where every single time we move up, you want to short the pops, and every single time we move down, you want to buy those dips. Now, today, on the 18th, we rallied inside of this top area of supply, the top area of balance. Inside of this balanced range, you have buyers and sellers agreeing on price. Now, from a retail trader perspective, if you're not aware of what a balanced market is, an imbalanced market is, then when you see the market come up, you're going to try to long a breakout when the conditions do not permit breakouts inside of balance. You want to see a specific thing that the market is agreeing, price is moving higher, breaking out of balance. We've seen this plenty of times in the past 2-3 months. Then at 9:50, I posted an update in intraday commentary. This is where I update my thoughts throughout the day. And I had a bullish and a bearish possible scenario in the market. I never have a bias. I go with the flows of the market. But my bullish plan was, as long as we could hold VWAP, I said, in my opinion, there's a buying program going on right now, and they're buying this open. They might want to test higher prices. That if we could hold VWAP and hold 4010 and reclaim above 4029, and it's supported, right? It's a little tier step that if we could see this and this happens, then it's most likely we're going to see a rally higher. So that was my bullish plan. And then I also posted a bearish plan that once 40110 breaks, I'm watching for a retracement down into 4,000 and 3997. Keep in mind, we're still inside of the balance range. So we break 4029, and in the intraday commentary tab, I said this action is not convincing for a breakout of balance. The market moved up, and if you are watching the tape, the level 2, the time and sales, there was no fast orders coming through. There was no indication that buyers were strong. In fact, in my honest opinion, now looking back at the tape, is there was a bunch of retail traders longing a breakout above high a day. Check your signals chat and see if they were longing this high a day breakout, because I know some were. and they were basically leading a rally inside the top of balance, inside of supply, where majority of retail traders are getting long, where someone here was selling the market. If you were watching the tape, this was a failed breakout out of balance. Now, I got a lot of questions today saying, how do you recognize failed breakouts? Well, if you're playing a breakout, you want to see a fast tape, you want to see increasing buying pressure, and you want to see bids on the level 2 step up, especially above your key level. We did not see any of that today. In fact, we saw sellers step into the market. I'm going to pull up bookmap here. As we broke this 4029 level, we saw very aggressive market buy orders come in. And then we see a bunch of offers step into the market right here at 4030. After a bunch of buyers got in long, this offer gets filled. More buyers are buying this breakout where price is just simply not moving up and the tape is simply not moving fast. There wasn't a lot of volatility, and this just was not indicating a possible breakout of balance. We've seen this the past 3 months. Now the market breaks the high, same thing, buyers are buying it, and immediately sellers step in, and offer steps in over here, and this is when I get my confirmation. This is when I say, okay, I have a high odd of this thing selling off, and this is where I'm comfortable taking a proper setup that's giving me high conviction with everything that I've mentioned so far. I said, which means I've gotten short at 4028. My stop loss is above 4036. Ideally, I'm targeting a 4010 break. And if we could get below 4010, then I'm looking to target 3997 demand. So just to recap everything moving forward is we had the top of balance. The market tried to break this top. A lot of longs were buying this breakout, not understanding the conditions were balanced. We have a supply zone here. We have a failed attempt from buyers, and we have a lot of offers stepping in on the level 2. This is indicating, do I know we're going to sell off? Absolutely not. But now everything is leaning towards the sell side, that sellers have control, and sellers are winning that selling tug of war battle. So now I'm in short. The market gets a brief sell off to the downside. And keep in mind, remember what I said, my target was 4010. This was the same level we were watching over here, what this red line was, that if we could break that, then 3997 demand is coming next. Then at 1022, when the market looked just like this, I sent an update and I was cautious here. Now, this is very important. This is how I manage my trades. I think it's vital for you to understand this. I said nice 15-point sell-off from supply. However, it does not mean much. The market's right back into this 4020 range where I spotted buying going on in the first 15 minutes. And essentially, this is where I spotted the buying in this area right here and this area right here in the first 15 minutes of the market opened up. We get the pullback right into this range. And I said the question is this dip down right here? Because this was a great entry. I mean, we topped tick this today. If you look at the bigger picture, 4028 was basically the top tick of the day, but this dip down, retracement into 402017, is it a retracement to build liquidity before rallying, or is it going to fail? And because of these two questions, what I do now is my stop loss was a little bit above the high just to give myself a little buffer room, because if we seen over here, we broke the high and failed. And that was also another indication to take the market short. So what I did was my original stop loss was 2 points above the previous high. So in this case, right now in the update, is my worst case scenario, what I'm going to do is boost my stop loss now to this high, where originally it was the higher oval. But because we got the sell off into this range, I lowered it to make myself risk off type of trade. And I'm still looking to target 4010 and 3996 demand. Then at 10:33, I sent out another update. Again, this is just for you all to get context. There's no hindsight trading here. Everything is in real time. So anybody saying, yo, this is hindsight, this is all real-time updates as it's happening. I said there's a buy program going on. They're buying these dips into VWAP. I'm not really convinced so much to the downside until VWAP fails. And I think it was about 4 points above and 4 points below VWAP. I said if it fails, we're going to see 4010. And then if 4010 fails, we're going to see that 3996 demand. Guess what happens a few seconds later? We get a strong, aggressive, violent push below VWAP, 4 points below it, and then boom, a very, very strong sell-off right into our 3996 demand. As you could tell, very aggressive market selling pressure. If you are shorting a move or you're looking to buy something, you want to see a fast-moving tape and you want to see very large, aggressive prints in your direction. As soon as we gave up this VWAP and as soon as we gave up 4010, I mean, look at all that selling just coming into the market. This is something you want to see, and it's going to give you very high conviction. Now, I sold 90% of my position at 4008. Again, I'm just following my plan. The earlier plan when I got short was I was targeting a 4010 break. And then if we got below 4010, I'm going to target the demand zone lower. So I sold 90% here because a lot of my recent trades, my targets have not been triggering and I haven't been able to catch a larger move. So as soon as we broke 4010, I got out 90% of my position at 4008. I had some contracts to remain in case 3996 demand held. And then guess what happened? We got that sell off right into our demand zone and our target hit very, very well. And this was the first trade. Very simple analysis. Spotting sellers at supply, spotting weak buyers, selling the top of the balance range, and targeting the lower balance at this demand zone, spotting sellers intraday as well. On top of all this analysis, what gave me a little more conviction as well was Tesla was coming off of our 136 area of resistance. This was in the plan yesterday, where our long side target, if we could get above supply at 130, was 136. We hit this, and this was displaying relative weakness pretty much all day, because when the S&P was moving higher, Tesla was very, very weak. And then we also had Apple, which at the morning rally completely got shut off. Selling pressure stepped into the market. And then this failed as the S&P was trying to break the high when we took it short. So these two equities kind of gave it more conviction and was the cherry on top for the setup. And this was directly from the pre-market plan. I post these every single day in the Discord of setups I'm watching, levels I'm looking out for, and potential trading scenarios. The bearish plan from the pre-market plan was if we can get below 3990 and 3985, I'm going to look to play the market short, targeting a quick scalp into 3970. This was in the plan today, and this was in the plan the day prior. Scenario number 2 was on top watch after this morning sell-off. Now, one thing I want to say about this setup and why I sized down on it is because the market already moved from the high in our first short position. We already moved 50 points to the downside without a relief bounce, meaning there wasn't any shorts covering, there wasn't any quick rally up that failed. It was just a straight 50-point sell-off to the downside, and from the plan, we wanted to take it short below 3990, 3985. In fact, I even posted this on my Instagram for all my followers to see. If I got short immediately when we broke below 3990, the problem with this is not only am I chasing a downside move, my risk to reward is going to be skewed, because if I get in short right over here, where would my stop loss have to be? And in this case, my stop loss would have to be, let's just say 3995, or even better, about 4005. So if I got short here, I'm risking 10 points, maybe even 20 points to only make 15 points. So the risk to reward didn't make sense because we never got that relief bounce up. We never got a consolidation to basically guess any new structure coming into the market. But what really made me enter this setup was this little relief bounce right here for about 10 points and how it immediately failed up. So what we're going to see here is selling below our level. Again, this is what you want to see. But then we saw a little relief bounce where when we broke below our level, it acted as resistance. Then selling came into the market there after that. So now what I do is I take the market short over here and put my stop loss above the previous high. Because now in this example, I was risking about 5 points to make now 15 points to the downside. And it was a stress-free trade. I actually had a limit order at 3970. I was not even active at my screens behind the setup. I had a limit order, buy to cover at 3970. And as soon as we hit it, it exits me automatically out of this trade. And that was just simply waiting for new structure to form. We broke below my level. It retested it. It acted as resistance. I take it short. Now it gives me a proper area to put a stop loss at without making it feel like I'm chasing the market at this point. And then we get that clean sell off to the downside. And then we got continuous selling. And yeah, I gave up some gains to the downside. And I could have got an extra 14 points, but I followed my plan. And now the market hit this 3957 demand. And we've basically done nothing all afternoon, and there's about an hour to the close. So really, really good day today. 2 solid setups, simple analysis. There's really no more to it other than what I've explained. And how I want to leave you all off with is this little tip. So I never wake up and say I'm bullish. I never say I'm bearish. I come up with my levels of interest, and then I create a plan around that, and I wait for the market to develop and tell me its story. The market's the storyteller, and we have to read the story before the market fully tells us it, because that's when we can get in before the moves actually happen. I'm open to playing long. I'm always open to playing short. Every possible scenario. I never have a bias. I never favor one direction. I do what the market tells me to do. I never jump into a trade just because I want to trade it, and I never jump into a trade just because the market's moving up. Every single trade that I take has a solid reason for entering. You need to have a solid thesis with an entry, a stop loss, and a target in mind before you enter that setup. I see a lot of people having FOMO on this drop to the downside today. Maybe they sold too early, or maybe they did not enter. And what I want to say to you guys is, if you sold too early and you didn't follow your plan, then you have to work on your emotions and go into the trade effortlessly and have a solid structured plan and let the market do its thing. It's out of your control. Or if you didn't take the setup today, review it, figure out how you could have traded it. And I hope this video could have helped with that, so that if you see another possible scenario like this in the future, you're going to be prepared. There will be tons of opportunities into the market. If you force trades just because it's moving or you think something's going to happen, I can guarantee you're not going to be here for long, and your account is just going to keep depleting. So I'm going to end the video on that note. I hope you all enjoyed it. I would appreciate a thumbs up, comment if you have any questions, and definitely check out the links in the description below. Every time I post these videos, I get tons of DMs about how to join the Discord or how to learn this type of trading. I offer a very in-depth course which includes access at no extra charge to the Discord. There's a lot of continuous education, and it's a very good community where everybody is looking to help one another. But I'm ending it. Peace out.